Okay, class, as advertised, time for Cheese 101. And we brought in the Cheese King, Robert Aguilera. Hey, Robert, from Formaggio.
That's right.
Kitchen. Three locations, right?
That's right.
South End, Cambridge, the original.
That's right.
And you've got one in New York City now, right?
Yeah, brand new one on the Lower East Side of Manhattan on 120 Essex Street, an old Essex Street market, the old public market.
All right, Robert Aguilera. And by the way, I'm a huge fan of your sister, Christina.
Thank
you will
you,
give her
thank
my
you.
best.
I will. I'll let her know.
Loved her in
That's
that
right.
P. Diddy video. And I can see the striking resemblance as it happens.
The blonde hair and the polka dots.
It's jumping right off the screen. All right, first question I have for the class, or from the class. Cheese, does it have to smell really bad to be really good?
No, not always. And usually the indication from a very smelly cheese just means that it's been out in the open, it's been exposed to room temperature, and now it's ready to be eaten. So the aromas coming off of every single cheese you get will be somewhat strong, somewhat light, just depends on the cheese itself. But you do want some aroma other than plastic in a refrigerator.
Okay. Now, how do we know when it's good mold versus bad mold?
Yep. All of these cheeses, especially if you're looking at a blue cheese, a little half moon that's sitting on the tray there, that's a natural mold. A blue, grayish, green mold is actually quite all right. But if you've got a piece of cheese like this big hunk of one over here that starts to go gray-black, you've got trouble on your hands.
What dictates how strong the smell will be of the cheese? What dictates that?
Well, the care for it and where it ages. The rind on bigger cheeses is pretty impervious and it won't really smell on the outside, and they don't do anything to it in order to encourage that. The little ones that tend to be this color, sort of pale orange, and start getting darker and orange, they start to encourage those with salt water. So it starts to activate the bacteria inside of the cheese and starts to break it down and go through another yeast process. And that the expiation of that is ammonia.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let's say we're in the market, we're shopping the cheese, and we're trying to look intelligent. How can we tell or spot a problem if there's a piece of sliced cheese and it's wrapped and something like that? Is there a way to look for the problems?
Oh yeah, definitely. You'll see piles and piles of Parmigiano Reggiano. The easiest and most probably safe thing to buy anywhere you go. But if you notice in some of the plastic wrapping, if it's done improperly, there's little hills and valleys and peaks in and underneath that wrap that are white and gray. It's been out there for at least 2-3 days.
Okay.
You want to look for one that doesn't have that.
Now, I can tell right from the naked eye right here, and hopefully we can zoom in on this, Jay, right at the top of this giant slice of cheese, there's like a really dark layer.
Correct.
Is that the beginning of something, or is that a good thing? What on earth is it?
That's actually the most natural thing. This cheese is a French Gruyere. This, along with Parmesan, they both have a very thick rind that's formed by salt. This actually gets salt dusted all the way across it, which starts to take the really fresh curd and start to dry it out and form this protective layer on the outside. These bigger cheeses that have that real thick gray or greenish, brownish beginning of a rind, they have been aging for almost 2 years, so they need to be protected, and salt is the first thing you add onto it.
Well, this one is delicious. What is this?
Yeah. This is Comté Marcel Petit. This is a 24-month-old French Gruyere. This is one of the oldest recipes as far as Calamic is concerned.
Yeah, but I mean, is there an easier way for us to say what you just said?
Oh yeah, what you're looking for is Gruyere.
Gruyere.
Look for Gruyere.
Any Gruyere or
any
specific
Gruyere, but ask for the French Comté. Comté.
Well, let me ask you this, because we just run so fast here.
Yeah.
Let's say we're going to have a party, we're entertaining, and we want to choose 4 great cheeses that kind of make sense to everybody. Give me a tip. What 4 do we go for?
Easiest thing to do, look for a crazy goat, which we lovingly call Chev. Something that looks kind of crazy gray and weird shape, real small.
Yeah, there it is right there, folks.
You want a softer cheese.
Kind of looks like a powdered donut.
Kind of.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. You want a softer cheese that's really going to be pretty intense and creamy when it gets up to room temperature. This is a Robiola, or Brie, for that matter. You want a blue cheese always to end with. The spice is the best thing to finish with, especially against red wine. And you want a cow milk cheese that's pretty solid that everybody's going to love. The best thing to go with if you can't find a crazy cheese like Comté is Gouda.
And very quickly, let's say we want to match our beer or wine with the cheese. Is there a formula we follow or something like that?
Start light, end heavy. So if you love beer, start Pilsner, end with stout.
Did you hear that? Start light, end heavy.
That's right.
Robert, you're best.
Thank you, brother.
Say hello to Christina for us, will you?
Will do.
Love her wardrobes. They're just magnificent. Okay. Jason Hawkins, that Gruyere, just off the hook. Jason Hawkins is out there somewhere. If you figure out where he is, well, handsome rewards. So I ask you, where the heck is he?